Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa. Johnny's back, and we have a question for everybody. What if money, as you know it, went away? So we're going to talk about treasure, lost treasure, pirates treasure, lots more right after this. Give us a like, share the video. We'll be right back with Johnny Litecoin right after this. Hey, Johnny. We're a little late getting started, and I have to tell you, I'm reading through the chat and cracking up. If you guys aren't watching this live, please watch my show every day live, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern, with some amazing folks in the chat, and they crack me up. Asking somebody how much crypto they have is kind of like asking somebody how much you have in the bank. And I thought it was funny. Somebody asked Phil C how much Bitcoin he has. He said more than one.
That's a party foul.
It is bad form. Bad form. Remember that? Do you know that it's one of my favorite Captain Hook on. It's the one with Robin Williams. The what am I talking about? Peter Pan movie with Robin Williams, and Dustin Hoffman plays Captain Hook, and he says, "Bad form, bad form." So, bad form.
That is bad. You don't have people. People that asked me that don't like, and they don't know. Like I went to
they're
Dunkin'
just
Donuts.
innocent.
I go to.
Yeah, it's funny.
I just said, I got some. You know what I mean? And I said I have more Litecoin right now than Bitcoin. Which is that a good idea? A bad idea? Who knows? I think it's rocking my Litecoin shirt.
I got my Bitcoin shirt on.
I think
from Coin Flip.
Nice. Yeah. That's a nice shirt.
That's They're great folks over there.
Damn nice shirt. Litecoin didn't pump like we thought it was going to around the halving because it.
But that hash rate though.
The hash rate is we're under attack right now by the government with this Operation Choke Point 2.0. So it's hard for anything to pump in this current environment that we're in.
I think it's funny. That's why I wanted to have the conversation. What if money as we know it were to go away? So like we've seen, like the US has been able to strong arm the rest of the world. Johnny, show your guns. Strong arm. Yeah. The rest of the world with their petrodollar. And that's been backed by the military might of the US government for so many years. We're moving into this world where the rest of the world is saying, you know what? We're tired of it. And BRICS announcement is anticipated for August 22nd. They're anticipating a gold-backed digital asset. You know, what does that look like? We're seeing Bix is doing videos on the Mint, posting these medals, round silver medals. You know, what if money as we know it goes away and we are able to transact with Reggie's patented IP, peer-to-peer? Like if that middleman of the hegemony of the bully, if the big bully in the yard who steals everybody's lunch or takes a part of everybody's lunch goes away and we're able to exchange asset for asset. I have, you know, this great Bitcoin shirt, you have that Litecoin shirt, and we want to swap, and we think they're both equal value, you know, that could happen.
Sure.
Right.
I mean, so what I think, Lisa, is that you're always going to have money of some form. We're not, no money would be like communism if there was no money at all. I think what you're talking about, though, is moving away from a debt-based system.
Okay.
And moving more into how money, you know, throughout history, gold and silver has been money. Why? Because it has real value. It costs
Okay.
money to
A
create.
creditor. Move it to the other side of the ledger so you're seen as a creditor. Things have value,
Things have
and you
value, and
hold
then
things of value.
and what in that system you saw more bartering. Um,
Mhm.
you're talking about moving away from government issued currency that has no value, fiat currency, as we like to call it in this debt-based system that we're in, has no value. Money's created, money's loaned out. I think Bank of America was crying, and they said, oh, they're not going to be able to compete anymore because they're forced to keep 2% of customer deposits or something as like a reserve. And like, this is really crippling them. So it's like 2%. Back in the day, the bank had to keep 100% of your deposits.
That's insane that they're crying about 2% of real assets.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's concerning. Yeah.
That is very concerning. So we'll always have a system of value and value transfer.
Mhm.
It'd be cool if it used Reggie's patents and Veritasium, where you're actually transferring asset for asset in a peer-to-peer manner. That would be
Mhm.
really cool. But yeah, you'll always have some type of value transfer. Like you said, if we want to trade this Bitcoin shirt for this Litecoin shirt because
Mhm.
I think the Bitcoin shirt has value, and you say, hey, that Litecoin shirt has value. Let's switch. What did Nana said something about ask a farmer how many cows he had. And don't
Don't
ask
ask a rancher how many cows he has.
That's like asking someone how much Bitcoin they have, I guess.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
pretty
those are
cool.
hard assets, you know? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really interesting. And it is that, that's where you need to be able to have both transparency and privacy. Um,
We, we've got away from that. Back in the
mhm.
day, like even when I was a kid, it was like, you don't want to let somebody know how much money that you make or how much you have saved. And went into this society of showing off and glitz and glamour and bragging.
Yes.
Social media, and look at me, look at the fake me that I put out there on Facebook or Instagram, so you think my life's so great. And people are posting pictures of bank account balances, and this isn't back in the day, things were more private.
Well, Johnny, that makes me think of like when they would do those. There were some of those influencers that would rent those Airbnbs that weren't even their homes, but they would go shoot videos at these like huge Airbnbs and make people think that they were living in these big homes or whatever. They weren't even renting these homes. They were just, you
Airbnb in
know,
them
Airbnb,
for the
like they were
night.
just there for the night, but
It's like
shooting a big video.
someone rents a Lambo and goes to their high school reunion,
Right. Oh
and it's like,
gosh.
oh, you got a
Yeah, that's so
Lamborghini. It's like,
sad.
yep, that's me, that's me. And meanwhile, it's
Yeah,
like you rented it for like the weekend or something,
right. But that's kind of what the US is doing with these dollars and printing the dollars because there's nothing backing it. They're just renting the Lambo to send to Ukraine. They're printing that out of nothing because there's
Yep.
nothing to back it. It doesn't really exist.
It's why they're not even worried about the interest on the debt. It's like
Yeah.
in a real system, we're in a debt-based system, but if there was currency that was backed, it'd be damn concerning that, well, not only is your country in debt, it's in trillions, over 30 trillion in debt, record-setting debt, and now you can't even really pay the interest on that
Mhm.
debt, but they just
Not even
borrow
close.
more. And it doesn't matter because they'll just borrow more and borrow more and borrow more. There's no stopping anybody. So it's like it's a runaway train. It's a it's kind of a freaky world because it's like we have a world right now where the Federal Reserve is really the most powerful entity. They're more powerful than the supposed president or the
Mhm.
Congress or those people. They're more powerful than anything. If they Whatever they say changes the markets rapidly. They control these boom and bust cycles, lowering the interest rate, raising the interest rate, quantitative easing, quantitative tightening. Are we going to buy it all? Are we going to, are we going to do reverse repos, regular repos? So it's too much controlling of the markets, and they don't let the free market take over. In a system of sound money, the free market's the free market. That takes
the
over.
fact that they make the fact that they make announcements about it and people wait for the announcement because there's not facts backing it. We just had a meeting here in my local town, and a lot of people showed up for it because some third party, so the city council went to a group for young professionals that don't live here. So they're not stakeholders in our community. And there's over 40 or 50 of them. Only 10 or 12 of them actually live here. And of the 50 people that don't live here and don't pay taxes here, they were upset that they can't afford to live here and they work here. So they wanted a study done by someone in Kansas that has a bunch of UN Agenda 2030 language in her background. They did a study that surveyed less than 2% of the population of the people that live here and pay taxes. And then they came up and said, oh, you know what? We need all this low-income housing, high-density housing. All these decisions need to be made. And we're like, you did not ask the people that actually live here and own property here. And it's that same thing of like the wrong hand is telling, it's so unconstitutional, and the upside down is telling what the right side down to do. And the debt, the fact that they're creating fake money debt to make, it's like fake promises are devaluing real assets. They want to then, their solution is, well, we need to get these, we need to devalue your property by getting this government money and big promises from big government to devalue the people that live in the area's property, to lower the income or the housing prices in this area so that anyone can come in and buy a house here, instead of having the mindset of, well, why don't, because their thing was, well, the firefighters and the teachers and who else? I don't know. Emergency workers couldn't afford to live here. Well, why don't we pay the firefighters and the teachers and the emergency workers? Why don't we raise everyone to a higher expectation? Why don't we demand that we have the best firefighters and that we have the best teachers, we have the best emergency workers, and that they can afford to live here, because then it raises the whole community as a whole. Instead of tearing down the asset, I think about it as devaluing, like how they're trying to devalue assets, and that devalues the dollar. When they print these derivatives, it kind of does the same thing. They're trying to print a derivative of the assets of our homes here, is kind of what's going on right now. So there's a video of this, and I don't know if I can pull this up really quick. I know you wanted to talk about finding a coin, and I don't know if this plays into that.
Crazy silver
thing.
We should show too, after a comment by JB Rance. He said, Johnny Litecoin probably knows this. The American Revolution was also a lie. We were still under the crown. They came back under corporate banking authority. I'm ranting. Everything is a lie. Yeah, I definitely believe that. It's
So this video. This is in Argentina. We've just seen Argentina fall apart, and so they are taking apart the Argentina peso or coin, They're saying it's worth $12. I don't know about that. And I don't know what dollar it's worth in that. But they're taking them apart to sell. They're separating the metal from the coin,
Does it
the
have real
brass.
metal in it, I guess?
I guess it has brass in it, is what in the
Okay.
comments I was seeing.
Okay.
And so they're breaking it apart to sell it. So this is where when good money or when bad money, what's the Robert Kiyosaki? I watched a thing with Robert Kiyosaki and Andy this morning, and it said the Grisham's law: bad money
Yeah.
drives out good.
Yeah, or the good money drives out the bad money.
Oh, okay, maybe that's
because the sound money you keep, so then you spend the bad money, and then you hoard the good money,
and then you hold the good money. So
It's-
therefore only buy Bitcoin.
well, we've seen that throughout history when they shave down
Yes.
coins and past regimes and like empires. The Roman Empire did that when they started taking silver out of the coinage, and then people would shave them down, or because they would get the silver out of there. But yeah, I like what he said, JB Rants again. The whole story of the crown, the queen, that never made sense to me, even as a little kid. I used to ask my parents, and they'd be like, "Oh no, they have a parliament, they have this. It's not. They're not in power anymore." And I used to scratch my head, and I was like, "Well, where was the war? How they just give up the power?" And it was like there was no event that happened. And I said, something doesn't make sense. These people are still in power. It's just they don't want us to think they are. Oh, they're just figureheads. They live in Buckingham Palace and ha ha ha. It's like, well, why is the queen on currency all over the world? I think in a lot of countries, the queen was on their notes. Right. Why is that? You know what I mean? And how did they lose the power? They just decided, oh, we don't have the power anymore. We give it to, no, that doesn't happen. There's always an event, a war, some type of something that the transfer of power. We're supposed to believe there was this monarch and all of a sudden they just lost the power. Come on. So he's saying that they came back under corporate banking authority. So there's that act of 1871 where they say the United States became a corporation. Then obviously we have the Federal Reserve, which isn't a U.S. entity. As we know, the IRS, you even said it's based in Puerto Rico.
Right. So somebody, just sorry to interrupt. They're saying breaking news, the market's tanking. About an hour ago, I got a emergency broadcast, which I never get on my phone, at 3:36 p.m. Supposedly a missing child. And I can't remember what it said, something about a cow, something, I don't know. And then the Blue Angels with the U.S. Navy were flying upside down about the same time in Kansas City today, which the Kansas City Fed is who is partnering with Roger.Bank, which is the new military banking system that's working with my local bank. And they're get ready for a air show Saturday and Sunday.
The market is absolutely tanking. I haven't even looked.
Just saying. And
the Bitcoin's at 26,000 right now. I mean, it was at almost 29,000 24 hours ago. Litecoin's at $63 right now.
Oh Lord.
So yeah, stuff is tanking. Did the stock market was down today? I guess stocks are making moves after hours, it's saying.
Cisco had a really bad report yesterday and was tanking. I don't know if that was the beginning of that. I don't know what's happening. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm
No,
like, oh my gosh, there's something
didn't
happening right now.
I didn't realize that this was going on, and the crypto market's really getting hit.
Oh, El
Um,
Donaldo Trumper just tweeted, let's go.
I mean, so we always look at things as an opportunity. Um, Now Bitcoin's tanking, Litecoin's getting hammered right now. So all the cryptos are down. I mean, you're looking at cryptos in the last 24 hours. Litecoin's down 15%. Shiba's down 15%. Matic's down 10%. Doge is down almost 12%. Solana's down 7%. ADA's down almost 8%. XRP's down 18%. Bitcoin's down 10%. ETH is down 11%. This was a flash crash. So let's look at it as there's going to be approval of an ETF. They delayed it till 2024. That caused the markets to start selling off, crypto markets. This is your opportunity to buy these assets cheaper. If you liked Litecoin at $90, it's way better at $63. One Litecoin's one Litecoin, one Bitcoin's one Bitcoin. I know I was going to be accumulating again a lot because of certain life events that I'm going through that, without getting too personal with everybody, but I was going to
breaking news later.
breaking news at some point about Johnny's personal life. But
show up in Vegas. We might have a good time.
Yeah, so I'm definitely gonna be accumulating these assets. And I was looking, Bitcoin is around 30K, Litecoin is around in the 80s. And I was like, well, I'd much rather take fiat and buy these assets if they were 50% cheaper.
Yeah.
If I can get them on sale, it's like you load the boat and stuff's on sale, and that's how you do.
Lord, I wish my ex would pay me. Pay me. Pay me.
That's how you do good. So, yeah, I'm definitely super bullish on Bitcoin for 2024. You have in 2024 the halving coming. You have
the Bitcoin halving in 2024.
Bitcoin halving.
Yeah.
You have the ETF. Those two things alone are going to drive the demand crazy for Bitcoin. The halving, there's going to be half as much Bitcoin mined every day. Remember, Bitcoin miners, business as usual, they sell to exchanges. So now
Egypt rolling blackouts. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to keep everybody updated ahead of elections. I mean, there's things happening every minute. There's also flooding in Germany's, Frankfurt's airports, shut down their airports because the water was flooding the airports. I mean, like waist high water. There's some wild stuff happening right now.
Breaking news, just remember. And then with the ETF, again, we don't need an ETF. I'm not like, but for the most of the world, they need this ETF because if a company wants to buy Bitcoin, they're going to do it through the ETF, like college endowments and things of that nature. Yeah, they can buy the asset itself and hold it in multi-signature wallets and things of that nature, but buying it through an ETF is a much easier and more viable option for a lot of these people. And if it's a spot ETF, it means they're going to have to be taking that Bitcoin off the market out of the supply. That correlating, Bitcoin Ben's talked about this a lot too, how it's super bullish for the price of Bitcoin. That combined with the halving, I mean, if Bitcoin's not trading over $100,000 by the end of 2024, I'd be shocked. I'd be absolutely shocked. by 2025 at the latest.
Yeah, I thought people were saying that 2025 was going to be the Christmas, Uncle Cliff's Christmas, like $100,000 Christmas parties. But I mean, as fast as this ball is rolling, I could really see it. And I am no financial advisor, and the only one that I know of is the complete moron. So I don't claim to be one, but I could see it happening as fast as this Christmas. I mean, this is moving very quickly.
Things are moving fast. That I saw an interview recently. I retweeted it. It was that guy from Fundstrat, that guy Tom Lee. He said with the approval of an ETF, the I forget the wording he used, but basically the clearing price of Bitcoin is going to be like $125,000 or $150,000.
Wow.
Because it's going to take so much out of the supply. And then the demand is going to go up. It's going to be everything coming at once. And also, too, you're going to have, the Federal Reserve is going to reverse course eventually and start lowering interest rates. Remember, they need to create a crisis and panic to do things to you. They want to roll out a digital currency. They want to take more control. They want to do this.
They're from the government and they're here to help.
They're here to help. They can't do it when times are great and times are good. They need to get everyone on their knees and say, we give up. We give up. What's your solution, government that's here to help? Oh, here's the solution. Here's the new account in your banking app we want you to use. We're going to airdrop some money in there for you. We're here to help you. We're here to help you pay those bills in the meantime. You know what I mean? And it's like,
we know you lost all your money, but we don't have enough to pay all of you back. So what we're going to do, and Andy did a great job on an interview today with Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad guy. If you guys haven't seen that, go watch it. And they're talking about like, they have billions to pay back through FDIC for the trillions that are promised to be paid back. And so what will happen is they'll pay back some of the banks once the decision is made, and then the rest will be given shares in failing banks. And they've already talked about it. They're consolidating these banks. People are going to lose their tail end. A lot of it's going to be 401ks are gone. They don't exist. The derivative market is destroyed. It will be hard assets, and it will be the debt-based system moving forward will be destroyed, is what it looks like.
Yeah. I mean, Bitcoin, if you have Bitcoin, if you have Litecoin, if you have gold, if you have silver, those are hard assets. They're limited in supply. So it's, again, Bitcoin and Litecoin are a little more volatile than gold and silver because they're still considered techie. So they trade like, kind of like tech stocks. The NASDAQ moving around will really affect the crypto market. But, in the end, those are the hard assets. So they will shine, and there'll be a decoupling from the regular market, from the stock market. And it's, there's definitely going to be, there's no liquidity left. So I feel like the markets, they want the regular stock market to crash too. That obviously is going to
coming. It's coming. Yeah. Those pensions that are held. He was talking about a pension that these poor teachers have that are trusting these guys. There's no there. It's going to be destroyed. So we'll all need to come together and be there for the community when it does happen. But it's going to happen really fast, I think.
Keep your eye on the futures market. The Dow futures, the NASDAQ futures are down pretty big. There was a sell-off at the end of the day. The Dow was down about 290.
Is that with that big shorts guy that did how many billion, like one? Oh, here, Jim talked about it. Michael Berry, the big short guy, bought $1.6 billion in shorting the bear market. He's anticipating the crash. So when this guy did this before, it was partnered or around the time of Bernanke making the big announcement that everything's fine, don't worry. And we just had that same kind of announcement with Powell just before SVB crashed. So we are like right there again.
We're there. We're there. 100%. Sorry, I had food coming. My dogs.
That's okay. You're there.
I'm there.
I'm there.
But I wasn't here for a minute but no, this he's the one that caused a lot of the downfall in the housing in the market in 2008 because he bought those credit default swaps. And I don't know if everybody knows this. I mean, they talk about it in Big Short, but basically banks were selling these credit default swaps. I think Blythe Masters, who Bix always talks about, was the creator of the credit default swap. And they just put it on their balance sheet as pure profit. And it just went on there as pure profit. And they never thought they were going to have to pay. And this Michael Burry somehow realized that they were the ratings agencies and everything was in on it, that they were repackaging these mortgage-backed securities and subprime mortgages were showing up as A paper. And he knew that the default rate was going to be way above what they claimed and what they said. And they had to pay out. They couldn't pay this guy out. And that's why a lot of these big players failed. It's because of him buying these credit default swaps. So he called that. He has had some misses. He hasn't always been right. I've seen stuff where he said the market was going to drop. It pumped. Said it's going to drop. It pumped. But he's pretty short right now. I think 90% of his portfolio is short or something. So he's pretty confident. So
very interesting.
Doubt him. I wouldn't. The problem is with the stock market, it's not real. It has circuit breakers that kick in. They close it down. It's
mostly traded by bots.
It's mostly traded by bots.
That's the insane thing.
They have full control of it. You can't take physical possession of the asset itself. So there's a lot of I got my picture for my food. Cool.
Oh, nice. Hey, before you go, do you have time to tell us the silver story before?
Yeah. Let me tell. So we're talking about a world without money and stuff. I always brag about those silver coins that I carry around. I was on my porch and I was leaning back in a rocking chair and I had the 3 coins in my pocket. And all of a sudden, 2 of them flew out, and one of them went into the slot, the Morgan that I carry around. It looked like it was going into a piggy bank getting deposited. I have Trex in the front porch. It's a nice newly designed porch, so it has the Trex material. There's a gap. You can see where it's at. So I'm thinking about, do I try to work on getting this Morgan out? Or do I leave it with the house?
Oh, interesting.
Do I leave it as my mark is kind of on the house and I left some real silver here? My energy stayed here. That's also cool. As much as I'm a believer in, you see a penny, you pick it up. You'd never walk by money and don't pick it up. So my friend Greg, he's like, you got to get it. He's like, take a board up, do whatever you got to do. He's like, do it today.
We love Greg.
I'll come over and help you. Do it today. And I said to him, well, Greg, what if I sell the house or something? I kind of like that my energy's left here. You know what I mean? I left my energy here. And it's not like I'm walking by it and I'm, disrespecting money. It's money that I could see that I can't get to. And it was almost like surreal how it went down. And I watched it and it was like it was being deposited.
Like too fast for you to get, like you were in slow-mo in the Matrix.
And one of the coins didn't, the Litecoin round didn't fall down through there. It was the Morgan dollar.
Mm.
And I was almost like, well, the Morgan's real money. It's constitutional money.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, there's some meaning to that. So do I get it? Do I leave it? I don't know. I'll get back to everybody. But bottom line is the 3 pieces of silver I walk around with is now down to 2. But instead of losing it, I know where it's at. So I feel like that's almost like a different story because it's not like I lost it. I know where it is. I can see it. I just can't get to it. So it's kind of like has
Is
a
it
lot of
almost more secure?
almost more secure, and it kind of has some meaning. The fact that it's there,
Yeah.
it's not. So it's almost like it's wow, that's pretty cool. Do I just leave it with the house? I don't know. I don't know. What?
Is it
Listen, Adios.
validated
I
with
would have already tore that damn board out.
is it validated with the or could you put it on the title of your house that it includes a Morgan dollar?
Morgan, I guess
And then it's kind of like creating an NFT with the
is
value of the Morgan dollar on your title of your house.
it's a cool. I was gonna buy a few more. I was just gonna go in and pick up like another 5 or 10 ones that are circulated, not graded.
And
So I was
stick them
like, you
in
know
your
what?
porch.
Just to have a few. I think 10 Morgans, a Morgan you could pick up that's in decent condition for like $39. So 10 of them's $390. I lost 1. I gained 9, I guess. If I buy 10, I could look at it
Yeah.
that way. 1
Yeah.
got left with the house. Now, again, I have that thing on mental where you don't walk by money or coinage and not even today. I went to Dunkin' Donuts. There was a penny. I picked it up. I mean, I've been in public bathrooms. They've been in some gross spots. I've had to get it. I've walked up with a napkin, brought it to the sink, put soap on it. I'm nuts. I mean, if I see coins, I have to get them because I'm superstitious where you're disrespecting money. My friend Greg's like that too. He's like, you don't leave a coin. He's like, you pick it up. He's like, you gotta.
That's hilarious.
Sometimes I'm in a bad area. I don't want to look down because I'm like, no, these coins are so gross. What they're in, they're probably next to like a freaking hypodermic needle or something.
God.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Lord.
I'm like shooing it away with like a a pen or something.
Now you're making me regret. So I almost bought this bank at my friend's store, but it was cast iron, and she didn't have it wasn't off day, and she didn't have the sticker. If it was half off, I would have bought it, but I knew it's gonna be a ton to ship, and so I was like, the price wasn't just enough on it, but it had coins in it, and I was like, but what are those coins? And so I almost bought it just for the coins inside the bank. And now you're making me have coin fever. And
That
now
could
I
have been
wanna go
sound money in there. That could have been old pre-1964 quarters
Okay,
and
Johnny,
dimes.
thanks. What day is
You
today?
could have had a
It's Thursday. Guess where I'm going tomorrow? Yeah.
big score of silver.
Yeah.
Are you going shopping for your goodies tomorrow?
I went today a little bit. We went and I had lunch with a friend who is in the state national movement and also an advocate for governing locally here in my town. And so we had a great brunch that turned into a lunch. And I talked with him and his amazing wife. And I actually met them when Bix came to town with Amy and the kids, not this last year, but the year before. And they came to the event and found out we live in the same town. And so, but then this issue in our town came up about them trying to destroy the values of our homes. And so we got together. Anyway, so we had lunch today, and then we're driving home. And I was like, hey, Charlie, garage sale, turn right. And we picked up a few things. So that was a lot of fun.
They call them something different in different areas. So Connecticut, they call them tag sales.
Oh,
Jersey,
estate sales or garage sales.
Estate sales, I guess they're when somebody died.
Well, estate sales, like you come inside the house and kind of everything is for sale. Garage sales, like just stay on the driveway and you can come in the garage, is like here in Oklahoma. Estate sales, like sometimes somebody's dead, or a lot of times they're downsizing their home, or like this little lady, she knew Giorgio or somebody, Armani, and every time he made a statue, she got the third one in the numbered series. So her house had tons of Armani statues all in her house, which are very expensive, apparently. I did not buy any, but Charlie wanted all of them because they're very bougie. And he wants to go back tomorrow. I was like, I don't think those are
Good
gonna work for
luck.
us.
Maybe my
Yeah.
coin getting lost will bless you some good luck of
There you
finding
go. There you go.
goodies.
I would love to find some coins. Yeah. Coins, silver. Yeah.
That'd be
It's a lot
cool.
of fun. There was a little um, copper teapot that I almost bought, and then I didn't buy it. And then I thought, just for the metal alone, that's probably a good choice
Yeah.
for the copper and brass in that.
Yeah.
So anyway, all the things. Anyway. All right. Well, I'll let you go. I know I wasn't supposed to keep you on this long, but
No,
I
that's
love
cool.
talking
That's
to you.
cool.
It's so much fun.
Great
Thanks for
times.
telling us about your coins and all the lost treasure. You guys, I hope you find some treasure. We love having you guys in the live chat. Thanks for sharing your day with us. Please like and share the video and get more information out there and think about what a world would be like without
It's a
money.
good thought. Sorry I
Take care.
missed you guys last week.
That's okay. We love you.